marching band. For your halftime entertainment, we celebrate the 43-year reign of the speed metal kings, Metallica. With 9 Grammy Awards and 14 nominations, 38 concert tours worldwide, and 11 studio albums that span 4 decades, the Titans of Thrash remain the standard by which all other metal is measured. We begin with a 1984 classic from their second album, For Whom the Bell Tolls, followed by the 1992 tour anthem, Wherever I May Roam. And then, let's turn down the house and light up the stage for the Auburn University Marching Band and their show, Metallica.
Wednesday night is here once again, and that means it's time for another Auburn Family Night. This is our show here at E2C Network where you, the Auburn family, take center stage. Once again, we're going to get into the topics and comments that you have, and of course, your questions too, and those phone calls. Let's get into all those different things right now. War Eagle, everybody, welcome back to another edition of E2C Network Live, where we get together, we sit down, and we talk about the Auburn experience. The Auburn experience to us is all about a few things: Auburn sports, Auburn culture, and Auburn family stuff. An easier way to say it might be, though, is if it's orange and blue, it's what we do. So thank you so much for joining us in what we're going to be doing today here on this particular Auburn Family Night. I love this time of week. Every single week we get together and we focus on you and what you want to talk about in this Auburn space, and that will not change this evening. As you're coming into the show, whether live, replay, whatever, what have you, we'd love for you to start off the show with a couple different things. First off, let us know that you're here. Make sure you're hitting that like button as you come in, the share button. All of those things are very helpful. And drop us a comment letting us know that you're watching, that you're here hanging out with us this evening. We always want to hear from you, the Auburn family, as we gear up for an exciting time. Fall is just around the corner, folks. It was just the other day that I was telling you guys that, hey, look, it's going to be a minute till we have some legitimate things to talk about. Summer's here. Summer's basically done, y'all. Just half a month essentially left before we really get this thing going in high gear, all the different things. So we're going to go the direction that you all want to take us this evening. So don't be shy. Jump into the chat. You can start accessing the phone lines now if you'd like to. We'll start taking those in just a little while, but you can access that by hitting the link that's at the top on YouTube. If you do that, you'll be able to access this, come on into the call. You can be on camera, off camera, all that kind of stuff, and spend some time with us this evening. And you can do that. You can take advantage of that, or you could just be in the chat tonight. But we'd love to hear some new faces this evening and come hang out with us in a little bit different fashion than maybe you're used to this evening. Let me set the stage for us tonight, get us going in the Auburn experience space. Obviously, the title, if you've seen it, is Football Practice and Tigers Gear. I think those are the two most prevalent things on most Auburn Tigers fans and the Auburn family's mind right now is the ongoing Auburn football practice and the surplus sale that just happened. I know most of you here at E2C Network listenership or followership, whatever you want to call that, have probably been inundated and are probably like, Kyle, shut up about the surplus sale. Well, I mean, we will when people stop wanting to talk about it and things like that. So certainly we can dive into that a little bit tonight. I don't have anything for show and tell. It's already put away, the stuff that I got, but you can go watch the Auburn Experience podcast if you want to see a little bit of that. But I know those are the two biggest things. Other things have happened. We're starting to get more schedules in for certain sports, including men's and women's SEC schedules with dates now. So certainly we could walk through that a little bit if you want to do that. And we can just talk about whatever is on your mind, whatever on your hearts and your souls. You bear it here on Auburn Family Night. So don't be shy. Jump into the chat. Let us know you're here and what you want to talk about. Good to see you, Corey. Thanks for checking in from Hoover and hanging out with us tonight. Corey also says, I don't know if this is a good thing or not, but the corners and safeties shutting down the wide receiver room in practice. Well, that's why I always stress don't read too much into practices, because you're really not going to know how to gauge which one you should be more or excited about or worried about, because It could be that you just have the best corners and safeties in college football, and you have a great wide receiver core, but the other group is just so good. I wouldn't read too much into it. I know y'all get tired of me pushing back on that and saying that a lot, but it's just the reality. I think a lot of times us as fans overthink things this time, and I get it. I understand. I do it too. But that's just the nature of the beast. We've got a lot going on, right? We want a lot more to be going on, and it's just not. We want more to talk about, and it feels like there should already be, but we're really still a solid 2.5 weeks from kickoff. And is that right? It would be 2 weeks. No, it wouldn't be 2 weeks. It'd be 3 weeks from this Friday, the 29th. Yep. So it'd be 3.5 weeks. So still a little bit ways to go till we get there. But I know that there's things trickling out of camp that y'all certainly all want to talk about here. This is from Unbeaten Lake. He says it's been 16 years since the midfield logo has changed to orange, and I guess they didn't like it because we haven't seen it since. That is something that feels like a Clint Richardson type of fact to know, Unbeaten Lake, and I'm impressed that you pulled that out. I wonder if he's got that written down somewhere or not. But if that's true, I guess 16 years since the midfield logo was changed to orange, and I guess they didn't like it because we haven't seen it since. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you about that. What got you thinking about that today, Unbeaten Lake? Was there something particular that sparked your mind or your memory or that made you want to think about that today? Is it just that we're trying to fill our time with stuff in the middle of fall practice? This is from Jay. Let's see what we got going on here. It's a great thing. I think this is a reference to Corey's topic. For one, we know it'll be harder for whatever quarterback we face, and then they will have a higher chance of throwing bad throws with the edge rushers we have. So bad decisions will come. That's one way, certainly, you can interpret that. I think what Corey was getting at is that he feels bad for being excited that there's great things being said about the corners and the safeties in practice when you have what is supposedly this outstanding wide receiver room. And please, once again, folks, I have to always reiterate myself. When I say supposedly, that's not me trying to be a Debbie Downer about it. It's just we don't know. You've all been told and led to believe that this wide receiver room is going to be the end all be all. And it might actually be, though. But it may not. So we just got to wait and see for what's the reality of that situation here. But it could be a good thing. It could be that they're just so good that they're really going to put some pressure as a defense from that aspect and then give some extra time for those rushers we have. You know, Keldrick is one of those guys that everybody's excited to see what he's going to do on the next level. So that's a great thing for him if they're providing more time covering the guys really well downfield. Kieran as well. And then some of those middle guys, obviously bringing pressure up the middle, linebackers, all that kind of stuff too. So it can be a great thing. It certainly can. We'll know soon enough. Let's go back to the comment that was brought up by Unbeaten Lake a little bit earlier. It says, just thinking about how we made small changes to the midfield logo pretty often every couple of years, but it hasn't changed since 2010. Yeah, it makes you wonder, doesn't it, Unbeaten Lake, why a change was made and why it seemed like it happened more often than it does now. And then all of a sudden, maybe somebody said, no more changes. Why is that? Somebody in power doesn't like change, which I would probably be one of those. That's why y'all never want me to be in power for those type of things. Dad by Faith, what's going on? Good to see you coming over from the Twitter sphere over here. This from Dalton as well, saying hello from Noonan, Georgia. So we already heard from Alabama and Georgia. Where else are people checking in from? Even if it's from those states, let us know. David on Facebook is here. Good to see you. Hunt. Everybody's look. It's like a little call went out. All of a sudden, everybody just started showing up in the chat already. So good to see so many of you today. We'll get to our first caller here in just a second. Let me roll through some of these things. I feel as if Perry needs to be in the rotation for sure. He really is a one guy. Yeah, I mean, we can think and feel those things all we want. It doesn't really matter what we think. It matters what the coaches think, and they're going to ones that be able to see everything and know what's best. I think logically, we all kind of look at the situation and go with all of the wide receiver room rotation, some spots opening up, maybe because of things. Maybe there is some room for that. But I do hope that he gets to have more time this year because certainly I think a lot of fans would be happy to see that. Corey with an interesting question. Will they put the Nike logo throughout the stadium? Most likely. I can't confirm that for you. I bet Clint knows, has been told through the grapevine whether or not that's going to happen. I would bet, just like with the Under Armour cover over the side tunnel, not the main tunnel, but the side tunnel where it said protect this house, you're probably going to have a Nike one there now, or some other areas. I would imagine they will, if no other year than this year, there will be a lot of prominent Nike symbols just to keep the hype going about that throughout the stadium. Evan's with me. Evan knows. Evan's also from TikTok. As long as they don't touch the jerseys, you can touch the field in terms of what you want to do with it, but not the jerseys. Dalton says, will they put the real buttons back in baseball uniforms is the real question. Remember, it was also for the softball jerseys as well. Dalton's been messed up by that since last night. I'm sorry about that. Let's see. Are we going to need sunscreen for the LED rays coming from the two Jumbotrons first night game against Ball State? Gonna be bright. It is a great point. I'm not so much worried about the sunburns from the day and from the night from those LED screens. I'm worried about the sound. Our ears are going to be just blasted. It used to be like if you were on it would be the west side. Yes, the west side where I typically was. You would hear it in your right ear a lot. Same thing on the left. Now, the speakers are already all around the stadium, but you get the point that it's going to be boom, 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 all the way now. It's going to be awesome, though. Okay, let's go ahead and say hello to our first guest tonight. We love to hear from him always. He's one of our regulars here. You guys can be a regular, too. It just takes a little bit of faith. Jump on into the chat, call on in, and say hello. But let's go ahead and talk to one of our good friends tonight. He's wearing the cowboy hat. What's up, Kevin? How you doing?
And number 18, Sam Turner.
18. So it's Sam Turner that you're wearing it for now and not Cody Burns, right? And it was Seth Williams before that, wasn't it?
Yeah, Seth Williams jersey.
Yeah, so first you were wearing 18 for Seth, now it's for Sam. I always associate 18 with Cody Burns, so.
Yeah, Cody Burns was a good player.
Good player, good representative of Auburn. He's one of those examples that comes through Auburn every so often that you're just so proud of how they handled themselves and how they were pretty good athletes in their own right. Maybe not in the ways we expected, but they have a great Auburn legacy. You know, Keldrick falls into that. Eugene falls into that. There's so many examples.
Yeah, I like Keldrick Falk. He's good.
Keldrick Falk is probably the best specimen that we have here at the university right now in terms of football, in terms of like all around Auburn guy.
How about that running back doing so good in practice?
Yeah, Omar Mabson, the local hometown kid. Don't you love those types of stories?
From Auburn High School?
Yep, from Auburn High School. He remember he had to reclassify because he was not going to be eligible to be he wasn't going to be part of last year's class. He originally was going to be part of this year's class, and they had room for him, and he was ready, clearly so, and he's already there competing.
Hey, who you think be the starter at running back?
I haven't really decided yet, but I don't think it's going to be anything wild in terms of something surprising. I think really injuries may play more into that than anything that's been going on. Remember, Jeremiah hurt his thumb, which it sounds like today, based off of what Coach said, he's a little bit better, or at least able to practice more. I think it's really simple. Just follow seniority, but I'll offer those predictions very, very soon. And
I think we will have a commitment on Friday.
Let me see if I can recall the guy's name. Jace Matthews, is that the one?
Yeah.
Okay. See, I don't keep up with all these guys until they actually commit, but I feel like I've seen his name circling around a lot, so I figured that might be the one.
Yeah, it says on YouTube it says something like, "Will that be the next Auburn great wide receiver?" And I put yes.
Well, I mean, it could be. Obviously, you got to get here first and stay commitment to be in that option. But certainly, we can see if that happens.
Did we get that Zaire or
Killian Zaire, or I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, his brother, Wilson Zaire. Is that who you're asking about?
Yeah, Wilson Zaire. Yeah.
Yes, he did commit several weeks ago. So he's the brother of Killian, who was a former offensive tackle for Auburn. You gotta love family stories like that. You know, those are the feel-good type of things you love to see. The brother was here, and then they decide to come on once they're of age too. So you love seeing that.
Is Eric Winters there yet?
Yeah, he's on the team. Yeah, he's there at practice, and supposedly he's part of this really great just depth chart that we have at safety. And
Quan Fagan.
Yep, he's there as well. They're all there, Kevin. They're all there. I promise you.
Caleb Harris.
Caleb Harris is going to be your returning star of the safeties. Definitely, I will go with you. I'm. Let me tell you this. I'm excited to see the new faces at safety and those that have already been there as well too. But I think just like with Keandre Lambert-Smith was just such a great surprise as a first transfer. We've got Jared Thompson not here this year, and he was such a great transfer to have into. So I'm going to miss him a lot this year.
He graduated?
Yeah, he's gone. He gone.
Oh,
I wish he wasn't. I really wish he wasn't, but he was a great safety too. I would say those are probably of last year's class our two best transfers. I may be forgetting somebody, but I think obviously Jaron and then KLS would have been the offense and defense one.
Is number 16 DeMarcus Riddick?
Yes.
On the defense.
I'll look it up for you real quick, but is there a reason that you're asking?
Yeah, he supposed to be really good this year.
Oh, well, he was really good last year too. Don't you remember?
Yeah. And who do you think be the punt returners and kick returners this year?
Well, I'm gonna just go ahead and 16 is Bryce Dees. So he's a linebacker. Defense, and John Colvin's a quarterback on this offense at 16. I'm gonna give you the blanket statement here. I'm not doing any predictions until the 15th, and I know you haven't heard me say that a lot here, but the TikTok people have heard me say this a lot. I don't really see the point in doing predictions about games, stats, position break, all that stuff until we really get super close to the season, because it's all overdone these days.
You could do that on that Wednesday.
That'll be the 14th. So unfortunately, I'm gonna wait until we're about exactly 2 weeks out. So I think the TikTok people will get my first predictions.
Yeah.
But we'll be talking about them very soon, I promise you.
I think the quarterback be Jackson Arnold.
Well, I don't think you need to think. It's already been announced. He was called.
It's already been announced.
Yes, they put a post out saying QB1 and Jackson Arnold was the pitcher. And then coach basically confirmed it all the way throughout the summer. There were, him going to SEC media days is a sign as well.
Who was the backup?
The backups are going to be either Deuce Knight or Ashton Daniels. I don't know that you're really going to get an announcement of that until we see an official depth chart that they usually release at the press conference leading up to the first game, which will be the week of it.
Is it 3 weeks before we start?
3 weeks on Fridays, because remember we play on a Friday on our first game, the 29th. So that 15th will be if I've done my math right, that 15th is a Friday as well. We'll be playing. Yeah, I think.
I hope we win by 7 points.
By 7? That's all you want?
No, 20 points.
I was about to say, I hope we win by more than that. I'm not asking.
Cowboy hat.
Auburn fans have lived with just, the years of close wins and losses. I'm ready to put the curve to somebody and just,
blow them out.
That's what I want. I think that's what we all could probably use, a little bit of boring for some games this season.
And I think I will see you either September 6th or 13th or the Mercer game.
Well, I'm going to hold you to it. Still is yet to happen, so we need to make that happen this year, okay? You know where to find me at Tiger Walk, right?
Yeah, I love those Tiger Walks. Slap their hand.
That's right.
Slap their hands.
Yep, I'm excited to be there too, man. Well, it's good to hear from you this evening. As always, we love starting off the show with you, so it's good to see your smiling face as always.
Yes, I I got a birthday in October.
Well, you let us know when it is, and we'll give you a big birthday shout out here, okay?
Okay, War Eagle.
War Eagle, Kevin. See you, man.
Bye.
Bye. All right, that was Kevin. That was one of our regular callers. We always love hearing from him. You guys can join in on the fun too. Listen, Kevin shows y'all up every single week. He is here faithful, calling in. Some of y'all have been here forever. And yeah, I'm staying on you. Corey, all y'all. He does it every week. You guys can too. Take advantage of the call-in link. I promise I don't bite it. I know it's scary to be open about your things that you want to express and stuff like that, but you don't even have to be on camera. There's no shame on that. Sometimes it's just easier to do that too and not to worry about holding the camera in front of you. When you join up, you can be on camera, off camera. It'll give you the chance to select that. So don't be shy. Come on in the chat and say hello. All right, we got a couple questions during that, and then we'll get back to some of y'all's more focused conversation here, but let's start right here. Greg, good to see you. I didn't get a chance to welcome you. Good to see you making the way over here from TikTok too. This is more, I kind of answered this. I'm not really doing predictions right now, but a lot of people are asking about the 1,000-yard receiver, 1,000-yard rusher. Traditionally, Auburn does those. It's been very rare that we don't. So I think your odds are in your favor for that. But what I will add to that is, based off the body of work of 2 seasons, Hugh has liked to throw the ball a little bit more. Now, sometimes that's just situational, right? And we've been behind in more games than we'd like to be, or having to, we haven't had a great rushing blocking at times, not always, but at times. So sometimes you just got to try and throw it around a little bit more. So maybe that's just situational for these last 2 years, and maybe that'll change. So it looks like that will be more of an uphill climb, but Jarquez did it. Others did it. So it's highly possible that we can do that. Hunter says, would you say this year's roster is the best we've had from top to bottom in the last decade? Once again, Hunter, that's a prediction. I'm frustrating Hunter so much. He can't figure out anything to ask me anymore except for those things. I just don't know how you would measure that. That's a term, a phrase that's being used with a lot of media sites. And I just question how you would be able to even quantify that other, let me give the caveat here, than what the coaches are saying. And I have heard the coaches reference something like that, and I put more stock in what they say. And sometimes you can still have the most talented group, but once again, the context of what your season is, how it lays out throughout the year, what happens throughout the year can drastically change the way that talent is perceived. So in a just carrying out the logic and not really a prediction factor, you get better every year under a head coach. That's the idea, right? Or else they get fired. And so that would lead you to believe that this is the best that we've had with Hugh in the decade. I mean, there's been some really good teams that we've even had this last decade that I think I would not venture too far to say that. Where is Coach Cody these days? We asked this a couple of shows ago. I feel like more than a couple. Let's see what I can come up with, unless somebody has already put it in the chat and I missed it. Cody Burns is at... Well, let's go to Wikipedia. I don't know if I trust that. It's okay. It says he's at South Florida right now. He just got there this season. Assistant head coach. Look at our boy Cody. So sorry, we're going to take a second here. Since somebody has given me a chance to talk about my boy Cody Burns, let's look at the trajectory of one Cody Nathaniel Burns. I don't know if that's his middle name. I'm just giving it to him. Love that man so much. He was at graduate assistants at Arkansas State, Auburn, running backs coach at Samford, wide receivers coach at Middle Tennessee. Cody then came to Auburn, where he was the co-offensive coordinator and wide receivers coach. Auburn, again, for the passing game coordinator and wide receivers coach. Then at Tennessee, he went to Tennessee to be the wide receivers coach for a year, then to the New Orleans Saints for 2-3, and now at South Florida as an assistant head coach, co-offensive coordinator, and wide receivers coach. So really, it looks like Cody's next step is going to be an offensive coordinator complete, not just a but a complete offensive coordinator position for him to get maybe a head coaching job if he doesn't want to start a little bit lower. But that's a nice trajectory for Cody, and I will certainly be celebrating him and that. Y'all gave me a chance to talk about my boys. So I love it. Tim, good to see you, my man. Thanks for being here. Let me catch up in the chat here a little bit. Jay Real said, I heard the kick returner will be a running back transfer. Someone said he was back there. So you're going to hear a lot of things people say, I heard, I saw. Yeah, you're going to see a lot of people being tried at different positions and different spaces, especially at this time of the year. The first couple of weeks of practice, things are being sorted out. Depth charts are being figured out. And so certainly you're going to see it written. You're going to see it said that this person was back here, but that doesn't really mean anything right now necessarily. It is simply just to get the ball rolling on what this year is going to look like. Hunter says, where can we find you at Tiger Walk? You still owe me a signature. First of all, you're more than welcome to my signature. Why you would want it, I have no earthly idea, Hunter. But thank you for the compliment. I will always be, now, I'm going to caveat something here. My plan is to always be right in front of the banner at Tiger Walk. Usually if you're facing down the way, towards where they get off the bus at on the right side. I have to work really hard, get there very early to do that usually. They're always changing the way that's done. Last year we had to contend with the construction. This year we won't, but now they're apparently doing some boxes that you can purchase to secure your spot at Tiger Walk. I don't know where those are going to be. My hunch is one of them, if not all, will be near where the spots I am currently at. So that's usually where I am. I can hang out a little bit, obviously, before, but right about 10 minutes till the Tiger Walk, I'm focused on filming Tiger Walk for all the people that are not able to be there live. Are they charging for Tiger Walk this year? If you're being funny, no, but they are charging you to stay at certain spots if you want to, so they can provide that for you. Unbeaten Lake said, if we don't have a good O-line this year, I'm just going to take it as we will be forever cursed with a bad O-line. Well, it certainly can feel that way. But once again, this is why I ask you guys and I caution you guys to not buy in too much into the early season propaganda. And when I say propaganda, usually that has a negative connotation, and there's a reason for that. But that's what it is. I mean, you have to remember the athletic account's only going to show you what they want to show you. Usually this time of year, the more positive things, unless it's like a big breaking news, like an injury or something like that, sells more than the bad stuff. So it really depends on a lot of those different factors. What the reality is of this offensive line. It's high time it became that. And maybe we'll see it. I don't know. We'll get our next caller in here in just a second. So Dad by Faith is acknowledged. Yeah, they're monetizomig. Sorry, Dad by Faith. You did fix it here, but we're gonna laugh a little bit about that. I don't know. Was that a monetizomug? I did see that they were monetizing some Tiger Walk with tailgates at the baseball field, and that the question is where. Now, it would be really easy to do it in conjunction with the Revel XP group that does that tailgating white tent spot right at the back of the outfield. I'm hoping that's where that is. I don't know. We'll see. It's going to be interesting to see. Every year they're throwing in a new challenge with things that are being used to be able to monetize. I'll go ahead and tell you this. I did a little bit of digging, and I don't think this was officially this last year. If you know there's the big sciences building. It's the science laboratories building, where it's that big walkway that leads straight towards the stadium and where most people kind of walk to the white tent area. There's a couple of quad areas that have always been open for whoever. I've actually utilized them for some family stuff and things like that before in recent years. Those spots that I've been in are now going to be the Revel XP. So please don't go plan to set your stuff over there. You will get kicked out. Those people, they don't play. Also found out that one time they told me that a certain spot was held by them, and by their map, I had proof that it's not. So I don't know if I'll be challenging that this year because it was a really nice spot. But we'll see. We'll see. All right. He's waited long enough, and I think this is maybe his first time calling in. Let's say hello to Hunter. What's going on?
Hey, Kyle. How are you?
Good. Now, Hunter, is this your first time? I can't remember.
It is my first time.
Oh man, this is a treat, real treat to talk to you and hear your voice in person for the first time. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm driving home from work right now, so I can't do the video call, but I figured I'd call you this way.
No shame in this game. Listen, some of us have a face for radio, right? Y'all would probably say that about me because having to see my ugly mug on many different places. But no, seriously, I'm just happy that people will utilize it whatever way they can.
I hear you. Yeah, I just wanted to get your opinion on Coach Freeze, kind of what letter grade you would give him, because I do believe he receives a lot of criticism. Right now.
So yeah, I think would we agree based on this grading thing that the two areas that you get mainly graded on are recruiting and results in the field, or is there anything I probably should take into consideration in that grade other than those two things?
One thing I think kind of is not spoken of enough is the hiring of the staff. And I think Hugh Freeze has done a great job in that. I mean, we saw, Derek Nix, was arguably one of the best defensive coordinators in the SEC. Our play calling was a little questionable at times, but, he was kind of taking more of a role and being involved in that. Mm-hmm. Our receivers coach, I mean, you've seen how well he's done. And we can only assume that the trajectory is going to continue to, progress with our stars. Okay. So, I mean, all in all, in those three areas, like you said, the winning on the field and recruiting and then getting the right staff to develop your players. Okay. I think he's already checked two of those three boxes off,
Yeah, I think so.
That's a debate.
Well, no, let's talk about it from the three different areas. Recruiting, I think you align with me on this line of thinking too. This notion of panicking about where the exact moment we are in some rankings is a little bit overblown. Not saying it's not something you should be like, well, we need to pick it up, right? But like, this is just one moment, and it's Keanu Watson said it best, the recruiting director. It's not a sprint; it's a marathon. So, to this point, I measure success in recruiting not just off of rankings and stars, but getting people onto the field and if they get on there quickly and become very recognized in their area, especially as true freshmen, true sophomores. That has happened a lot already. So I think in recruiting, I'm going to give him an A. In the coaching area, I think some of that, assembling a staff, I think that can probably be heavily affected by the on-the-field results too, but also it's affected by recruiting. So maybe there's a balance there. So I'm going to probably say in terms of staff, I'll probably go B+, just because it's a better grade than most get. Not everybody can get an A, but I think some of that has to be on the field results oriented as well. On the field, I'm going to probably put him at a C or a C-. I'll just go C- because it's not really even the results in 2 years hasn't met the expectations. But if you understand context, my big buzzword, you can understand why you're getting graded this way or why some of these things were working against you or things like that, or you're given a little bit of grace. Now each year, the grading rubric gets tougher and tougher, right, on each of those areas, and rightfully so. So let's say recruiting A, staff B+, C- on the field results thus far. So that averages out to a B-, something like that. Do the math.
Yeah, I would agree. It's close enough.
So B-, honestly, maybe a C+ if we're really being, real strict about things.
And even on the field, like as frustrating as last season was, I think we forget how, as for lack of better terms, embarrassing our losses were under Brian Harsin. So, I mean, even as ugly as, the turnover battles and the lack of production in the red zone, if we even did, we cut those numbers in half. I think we're an 8-9 win team last year. So I think the blocks are being put together and we are progressing. I just think there were some abnormal circumstances that kind of hurt us last year. And I don't think that people seem to understand that. They love to attack the coaching staff, but
yeah. No, listen, it's who gets graded the most, right? Ultimately, it's who everybody thinks that'll fix everything. And if that was the case, then you'll have to explain to me what the heck we were doing in 2020, because here we are now. It clearly wasn't the right choice. But I have no problem with people being constructive in their criticism of the head coach. No problem. But rarely is criticism constructive. And I think people misunderstand what constructive means. Constructive doesn't mean it's positive, but it's fact-based, context-based. Here's why here is what I believe, and here's why it is. Not a feeling. These are the facts behind it. And if you don't have those facts to back it up, then your criticism is just being critical and not constructive. It's usually destructive. So I do think there's a lot. It's easy to do that on social media, right? Fewer people put their face, their name, and their real name to things than do. How about that?
That's right. I may end up losing you up here. I'm actually kind of driving into a spot where my service gets bad. So, but yeah, man, I appreciate your content. You're one of the first people I stumbled across that has a realistic expectation, and you kind of try to temper, the way we think about things. And I just kind of want to give you a shout out for that. That's one reason I'm a big fan of yours.
I appreciate that, Hunter. Yeah, I don't try to be a Debbie. And here's the funny thing, Hunter, if you had found me earlier, you probably would find people accusing me of being a sunshine pumper. So it's like you can't win, right? Either you're a sunshine pumper or you're just not playing into the hype train of things. You can't really win. I just, I try to just tell you exactly what I'm thinking. And sometimes I see a lot of optimistic reasons. And sometimes I'm just like, hold on, folks. We're still working our way out of some of these things that we have, by our own choices, brought ourselves into. It is what it is. I'm just giving you my honest opinion, I guess. Anything else for you this evening?
No, man, I'm good. Like I said, I'm about to lose service up here any moment now. So I appreciate you. Let me holler at you.
Oh, of course. We're excited to always hear from people for the first time. So thank you for taking the opportunity to.
Yes, sir.
All right, War Eagle. All right, that was Hunter. Good to hear from him, and Kevin as well already. So good start to the evening. You guys can take advantage of the call and link too. Hit that. It was very easy. You saw we had 2 examples, on camera, off camera. No shame either way. It's just there for whichever way you want to use it. And really, if you have nothing that you want to have asked publicly like that and just want to just say hello, that's fine too. We just want you guys to get in the habit of doing these things, especially when we get to the fall and when we're in the middle of games. Y'all can only hear me regurgitate the same things over and over. I want to hear some of y'all's perspectives from your own voices at the very least. And so that's why we highly encourage you to do that. A couple of people checking in with us, some of our regulars. We're excited to see many of you here. We need some from Coach Manville. Yeah, I don't know where he is tonight. I thought he would. Wasn't there something Coach said about, what did he say about the offensive line that I thought he would have a say about? Maybe he'll get here later. I don't know. I feel like he checks in a little bit later with us once we change times over to this here. This is from Dad by Faith. I think this is in reference to us trying to grade Coach Hugh Freeze right now. Some of the game management decisions is what surprised me more than anything with Coach Freeze. Some of the little things could lead to 2+ more wins. I think I'm gonna add on to what you said there, Dad by Faith. I think there is several areas, whether it's about a coach or a player, that if it is tweaked even just a little bit, we're talking about 2+ wins, 3+ wins. I mean, people forget how, and I know it sucks to talk about how close you were. Close only counts in horseshoes and some other small knick-knack games. But we were very close to being a much different team last year. And we can play the ifs and buts game all you want, but at the same time, it is what it is. Let's see here. This is from Unbeaten Lake. We're going 40-0 in basketball next season with that schedule. Tell me you're joking, Unbeaten Lake. You've got to be joking. And first of all, we don't know the full schedule. We know the SEC schedule. I think you're being funny. You cannot seriously look at that schedule and tell me we're going 40-0. I think he's joking, and I hope he is. The queen of the kitchen. Oh, there's Corey again. Sorry. What? I keep hitting the wrong thing. The queen of the kitchen in the house. Yes, Devin has the running gag of always being in the kitchen once someone told her to stay there. How long ago was that, Devin? That jerk. Am I staying sweet? WT? What's this about? I'm a little worried about this one. I just, yes? I don't know. What am I missing the joke here or something like that? Ugh. Interceptions and missed field goals were kind of the earned narrative last year in terms of what people expected to happen. The thing that was always going to go wrong, missed field goals and interceptions. especially early on in the season, interceptions, missed field goals as the year kind of went on. I felt like that was the case. I think, in sports, you can get the yips. That's when a pitcher can't throw the ball over the strike zone, or even a catcher throwing it back. And I don't think I'm sharing anything out of turn. I forget her name, but the catcher for softball literally had to run the ball back in certain situations instead of throwing it back to the pitcher, because she just had the yips about it. But she was a great in every catcher and player in every other aspect. It was just the one area she had. Hunter says, I do deep dives into football games analysis in season, so maybe Coach Manville will hire me to his E2C staff. Listen, y'all work out a deal to come in together, and we will never, maybe on Wednesday nights, y'all can have a little bit of time, and I'll just sit back and say nothing and let y'all do the show. He does like to take us to school, though. Let's see here. The Sweet refers to the dog pile on you Sunday show. I'm still missing the dog pile on me. Which one was that? I don't remember this one at all. I'm sorry. It's just going right over my head. This is from Tim. Hope our running backs that are injured and are wearing yellow jerseys will be back 100% by the Baylor game. Yeah, I didn't love hearing that today. It sounded like it was more than running backs too, that there were a bunch of dings and being banged up, which is to be expected in fall camp. We're hitting each other for the first time, and pent up energy, people not doing proper technique, getting back to doing proper technique. Those things can happen. So that it's never encouraging to hear that, but it didn't sound like there was anything devastating or anything like that. Another suggestion for improvements: clock management has to be improved. Twice last season, we were in field goal range, no timeouts, about 10 to 15 seconds until halftime, and we run the ball and run the clock out by accident. I think one of those times, Coach Hugh Freeze talked about, I messed that one up. I think he actually verbatim said that. The other time, I think there was a little bit of a misunderstanding from fans about what they were trying to do, and it just looked bad. But certainly he's not been shy about being honest about when he has messed up. To be fair to Unbeaten Kyle, did you look at last year's schedule and see us in the Final Four? This is actually a good question, BT. So earlier, Unbeaten Lake was, jokingly or not, I'm not sure yet, I haven't seen him address it, talking about going 40-0 in basketball with that schedule. And I looked at the SEC schedule today. I said, I will be honest with you about last year. I was very, very optimistic quietly in the background about that team. Given that Janai was back, that Chaney was back, that Chris Moore was back, that Tahad seemed to be the real deal from what people were saying. All that we were returning on all that we were gaining, and just the excitement of the year for that schedule. Yeah, it was challenging. Did I have it in the cards that we were going to be in the Final Four? No, I think I predicted Elite Eight. But I think I talk about a bell curve of possibilities, right? The high point is what's the most likely outcome, and everything else is on the negative or the positive gets less and less likely. So your most likely is always at the top. I had Elite Eight there. So Final Four wasn't that far from the other end of the bell curve. I truly thought that we had a team that was worthy of being one of the best in the country. And once we got through that non-conference, just with the one run in with Duke, I said, these first couple of games of the SEC schedule are going to tell us a lot. And they did. And I was like, we have an argument to be the best team in the nation. And we showed that most of the time this year. Aubrey Lisenby, thank you so much, Devin. I couldn't bring her name to the top. Right there at the top. Oh, Lord, everybody. Everybody just take a deep breath in. The smell has entered. Micah is here. The Bama fan has arrived. Good to see you, Micah. WT, okay, maybe I can get some clarification. At the end of the Sunday show, several new names, at least to me, kept saying how sweet you were. Oh! Yeah, okay. So, that happens a lot in TikTok too. That was started first by my friend Tyler, and then I met him through my cousins and then I guess a couple more of their friends as well popped in the chat. They like to jump in from time. And one of the running gags is Tyler will pop in and just say, what a sweet boy. And so, okay, I'm with you now. Yes, I'm still feeling pretty sweet. I'm still a sweet boy. If you want to clip that and use it. It's a running gag. That's all it is. And now I'm with you on what you were talking about there. That's why I was like, sweet. That happened so much. I didn't even place it with last Sunday night show. Okay. This is from Hunter. Another thing that does not get spoken of enough is how difficult it can be to run the RPO system. It's very heavy risk reward. Listen, this is not a true comparison. I understand that, but I used to hate the idea of it until I started running it in college football 25 and 26. And now I love the RPO. I really do, because I understand it to its fullest, and I understand its risk reward and how sometimes you can have it read perfectly right. And then there's some type of situation that the defense is prepared for on you that you didn't think they were going to be able to get somebody over there really quickly. And they're picking the ball off. They're, knocking it loose, or they're ready for you if you didn't throw it onto the run. It can be very difficult, but I've got a lot of respect for it now. It's the advanced version of the hurry up, no huddle in my mind, the spread hurry up, no huddle. Sam, wake up, Sam. Good morning. What are we doing here? Good to see you. Also from Hunter. I hope that we see more 4 or 5 wide receiver sets with the mismatches that we have at receiver. Eventually, defenses have to play man-to-man, and I don't know how you do that against us successfully all the time. I'm going to add that. There will be success because there will be some great defensive backs that line up well, and you're going to have to run some of those more defensive back-heavy sets or schemes and leave out a linebacker or two. And if you spread everybody out, Jackson can run. If they've got nobody to spy on him or something like that, he can run and move really well too. So yes, this may be a year, Hunter, where you see a lot of those 4 wide, maybe 5 wide at times sets. I get real nervous with 5 wide because I love to have the option of a running back. I don't necessarily love 5 wide sets, but obviously they work in some instances. Who is your number 1 in football, basketball, and baseball in the upcoming seasons, Kyle? Who, in your opinion, will be the star? My number 1 in football, just in terms of is this like my personal favorites, or like who I think is going to be the number 1 guy, or the biggest story out of each team? It's probably going to be the same in some instances, but I'm curious what you mean more about you said your number 1, so maybe it's just my personal opinion. I think Keldrick is going to be the story all season. And if he stays healthy, I think he's set up for a great year. I think Keyshawn Murphy has the potential to do the most with the spot that he's in. All that our talent at that position lost for basketball. For baseball, did you ask? It feels like it could be anybody. If Eric Guevara can stay healthy, I think he could be the star. And you got Bub Terrell, you got Chris Rembrandt, so a lot of others. These young guys that are here. It's a lot of people that it could be. But if Eric Guevara can stay healthy. WT, I do not think an accurate guessing for the record this year can give an educated guess until we are 2 to 3 games in. Yeah, but people aren't going to be satisfied if I wait 2 to 3 seasons in. I have to go on the record, or else people are going to lose their minds with a prediction. But yes, I think your point you're trying to make is, frankly, I don't think you can get an accurate representation until you play an SEC team, which won't be till the 4th game. So that's a bit far into it. And what a good team to start with to get an accurate representation on the road at Texas A&M. So you really will get an assessment of where you are on that day. I am not looking past Baylor, nor should anybody be looking past Baylor in any way. But if you do win that one and you come home and you take care of business as you should expect it to be against those guys for the first home game and the homecoming game, and then you go on the road, and if you can knock off one of those two there, you're going to be off to a great start, I think, if not both. Sam says, RPO is cool. Military academies use it to protect perfection and can beat better teams, in a big part of Vandy beating Bama last year. So you're saying because their coach had a military school background, or the military academy background? Is that what you're saying? This is from Micah. Like I said on TikTok, if anyone has seen it yet, but the biggest question is, can Arnold fit in Freeze's system, or will he struggle like he did at OU? To me, that's a huge question mark. Yeah, certainly. I mean, when there's no body of work to go off of, that's going to be the biggest question. I think that's every year, though, because you can look like you fit. You can have all those signs pointing that it's going to work, and then it just doesn't. That might be the case. Maybe it's just me. I don't really tend to get that pessimistic about it. And I just think that the coach knows what he's looking for most of the time and knows what he's doing. I think Hugh has proven that. So if he likes what he sees in Jackson Arnold, then I'm going to trust him on that. Unbeaten Lake says, I'm now impressed with teams who use pro style offense efficiently without a mobile quarterback. It can be used the other way around. Sam, I think Baylor is a good team to start and determine how good we are. Oh, certainly. Now, it's not like you're playing Ohio State, right? Let's just be honest. But it's not a pushover by any stretch of the imagination at their place. And I'm really sad that it's not worked out, that I looking like I'm going to be able to go like I had planned to all year. Wasn't anticipating a few things, but maybe I just wasn't meant to go this year. All right, we got our next caller. We'll say hello in just a second. I will give him a little heads up. You are sideways right now. See, y'all can't see the fun stuff that I can see in the background, so that was hilarious. You're much better. I'll bring you on in just a second. See, this is the cool stuff that y'all don't get to see. I can see whatever y'all are doing over there in the green room. Watch you picking your nose and all that. Now people are going to. All right, let's catch up here, and then we'll say hello. This is from Sam. If we blow out Baylor, that would be huge. I agree. It'd be a great way to start out the year. And what a message to send to your fans, to everybody else about this. WT, Baylor will be a tough game. First one of the year on the road. Will not be easy. Unbeaten Lake says we should wear the white face mask in our home uniforms. We have done that. Yes. Yeah, we have done that. And I agree. I would be fine if they wanted to permanently go to the white face mask. I really, really, really like the white face mask. Of all the changes that I don't want to happen in uniform, that is one that I'm permanently happy about and would be okay with that. I think it looks well. I am not a fan of the orange face mask. I think they are disgusting. Sorry about that. All right. We're at 52, so let's go ahead and get him in, and we'll say hello. What's going on, Sam?
Hey, Kyle, how are you doing?
Good to see you again, man. How's aviation school going?
Sorry, aviation school?
Yeah.
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 I just finished up for the summer semester, so I finally got to come back home and, hang out about where I'm from. So
I got to ask something. So in the TikTok, I just feel like we're getting inundated with people asking about the aviation school at Auburn all the time. Are those your buddies or something?
I don't know any of them, but I will say, you'll say something and then they'll DM me. I've gotten 10-ish people have gotten into my DMs and asked me about the aviation school, and I've gotten a ton of people who have actually applied to through my DMs. It's actually super cool.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. I'm starting to learn more about it, obviously through you and just people asking about it. It's always funny to think about where do these trends start? Because it's not like these are separate days. It isn't like these all came in one day, and this is weeks sometimes spread out, and they'll just be hey, what about the aviation school? I'm okay, this is some of his friends just asking the joke to be funny, and no, but it's sounds like it's legit.
Yeah, we'll have whole conversations just in your chat, and you'll just have to read try and skip them. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, I have to skip over you and all the trolls. So no, I'm just kidding. You can. I'm happy to let people respect for productive means. Please, by all means, help people out with the aviation school in the chat. Yes. So Micah, this is Sam.
Oh, is that Micah from?
That is
the
Micah.
One that from. Or I don't want to bring up your Disney chat.
Yes, that's the one. That's Micah. All right, what's on your mind tonight, sir?
I just wanted to see, like, I saw you got the gloves from the surplus sale.
Yeah.
And then I was, dude, so my last day of school was the Friday before the surplus sale, and I should have stayed. I saw all these videos and stuff on like all the cool stuff. I saw someone got a Janai Broom jersey with like the Final Four emblem right here for $35, and I was just like, that is so. Like I was just fuming at home. Like I would scroll and see like another like hauler, like see what I got for $200, and it's just like 50 things, and it's just insane.
Yeah, it was. I'm very glad I went. Only I didn't really necessarily want anything. I obviously got stuff, but like I was mainly there to gather content for what we do. But I enjoy being a part of it, right? Because that's historic. This isn't going to happen again for.
Yeah, don't rub it in. Oh my goodness.
I'm sorry. Look, I'm sorry. It's just the reality of it. But that's why I do what I do too. So you can at least have something to go back and reference. And now there's a video so you can go back and see some of the things. Like I want y'all to think about this. Like very privileged that I got to do this. The athletic department was very kind and let me in about 5 to 10 minutes before to do a sweep of everything. If you saw that little quick video I made of everything, that's before everybody got there and everything was messed up. Like, so you can see the level of organization, how much stuff was there. I mean, let me be honest, the first probably 15 to 20 minutes of that, it was very like calm and organized, and it was calm throughout for the most part. But when I got back in there an hour later, it was just like an explosion went off of people just, do you got this? Do you got that? And we had people like, anybody found a size? You know,
your video where like everyone's flipping through the jerseys was crazy. I was like, that would be so me, just like looking for like a cool basketball player. Like I'm not as I've told you before, but I'm not a huge football guy, but the basketball jerseys just seem so cool. Like to just like have like hang in my dorm room or something. Like I thought that would be cool.
Yeah. The only things that I saw when I came back after the hour break of basketball were just practice jerseys. And I think there was men's and women's there, but they weren't like real. I mean, I think it said Auburn, but it was, the real loose fitting practice style jerseys.
Yeah. That'd still be cool. And
it would be. Yeah. It would be.
The super nice, like rain jackets and just like, stuff that I was like, Sam, why did you go back home? Like you could have waited one more day.
Here's what I've learned is if your gut's telling you to try something, if it's something that's never going to happen again, like not to rub it in, but not going to happen for decades, try to go if you can. If it's something that you have a good chance of recurring again, then maybe you can take the risk on not going to Auburn or traveling. So that's why I've been so adamant trying to get out to the Baylor game, is because I don't see us going back to Baylor in my lifetime. I could be wrong with the playoff system and playing at home. You say they were really good and we got matched up with them. That could be an opportunity, but those are going to be expensive tickets. So so that's why I think about it that way. We do have a question for you, I think, directed at you. If you learn to fly, could you, in theory, fly any style of plane, or do they vary by type and model? I'll let you answer that. That's from Hunter.
So when you're starting to fly, you have to fly a single-engine plane under 200 horsepower your first 40 hours. So once you get your private pilot's license, that'll be around 40 to 50 hours. You have to fly specific. They're normally a trainer plane, so they're easier to fly. But then after that, you can get this rating. It's called a complex rating, and it only takes another extra 5 hours, and hopefully it would be like in a plane over 200 horsepower. And if you get that rating, you can fly, not like a jet, but you can fly pretty much any plane over 200 horsepower that you want. It's super, like the real issue is just finding a plane that you want. But yeah, you can, like, I don't know what you mean style of plane, but like there's high wing planes, there's low wing planes. I've flown both, and both are a lot of fun, but like, so but it does vary by type and model. So yeah, that's basically the answer to the question. Okay. If you get your complex rating, you can fly whatever you want.
There you go. There's the answer for it. This is our resident source, apparently, for for aviation stuff. Yeah. So I am sad that you didn't get to experience it, but that's what we're here for, to let you live vicariously through that stuff.
You see, what was I going to say? Oh, Janai Broom was actually in your chat today.
That's the third time I've seen him there, and I always forget. I think he changes his handle sometimes. So like it usually says Janai Broom, but I've seen like Janai Broom like weird, like weird spelling sometimes, and so I always have to be skeptical. And usually I'm wrong, and it is them when I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, but Janai stopped by. He's donated before. I've actually never met Janai in person. I was at I didn't go to the Sweet 16 game, but it's not far from where I live. So I rode into town and got the Tiger Walk coverage. That was the Sweet 16 game was Michigan.
You went to...
No, I didn't go to the game, but I went into town because I don't live too far, and got the coverage of the Tiger Walk and stuff like that. And so Janai walked right by me in the lobby, and I was going to stop him and thank him and tell him who I was and say, "Hey, it's me from TikTok." But he got like grabbed at the last minute by a staff member trying to tell him like, "Hey, we're wrapping up. Y'all need to be, your things." And I think he was actually gathering people up as well. So anyway, I've not met him. He has stopped by, and I'm very thankful for that.
Yeah, when we were in line, I think it was the Florida game, maybe in one of those games where we camped out. He came and he like started playing poker with us. It was crazy. Now, like I could tell everyone I beat Janai Broom in a hand of poker. So
there you go. There you go. I've seen Dylan do that too. It may have not. I think it was not last season, but the season before that. I got like a long video of him playing cards with y'all and whoever was there in the line and stuff. So I think that's one of the great things that Bruce has instilled in his guys is
or pizza and stuff.
But like even beyond that, like you said, they'll just come hang out for a little bit and just chill. Like I think that's one of the great things that Dylan especially has like lived out. It's not just about him going to take pictures and stuff. Like Dylan he's chilling. He literally he's literally just out there chilling with everybody. And I love that he's getting opportunities, and I love that he gets a shot with this 2-way contract with the Kings, but I wish he was still here in Auburn.
Yeah, Tahad, I will say Tahad is obviously hasn't been there as long, but Tahad also would hang out with us, and like he filmed. I know it's kind of corny, but we had him film some a video for our intramural basketball team, like telling the other team, like wishing us good luck and telling the other team they were going to lose, and we put it on Instagram. It was just super cool.
That's funny.
So I will say Tahad is like super like down to earth. I guess I would say.
It seems. Listen, I think he also had a great group of seniors to show him the way. Certainly, we all make mistakes, as we've seen. Everybody's young and makes stupid. Even I made stupid decisions. And look, I'm not even that adventurous by most people's standards. It's a good thing to see them being so interactive. I've got time maybe for another topic or question if you got it. But if there's anything else,
I will say I will applaud you because Janai. What did he say? He was like, "Oh, what's the record prediction?" And even for Janai, you were like, "We gotta wait till April 15th."
Well, I tried to give him a little bit more because it's very rare that you get them there, and so I wasn't lying with what I said. I mean, I think what I said to Janai about basketball was, what did I say? Something to the
about like it's gonna be hard to replace. Like we won't do as good, or we'll do better with him. I forgot what you said.
I said if you were there, I'd be feeling very secure in what we were doing, and I mean that because that's one of the reasons that I felt so strongly. Him and those guys that were left over from the year previous made me feel so positive about that year. And so when you have so much turnover, I have to at least question a little bit what can be replicated in a sense, because the only piece that's there is Tahad. And sometimes you won't replicate it because you'll be better. You never know. Right. And so that, I think that's kind of the point I was trying to make with him was like the football team has a lot less of that. So, I can at least look at them and go, there's at least some pieces still here. So I can feel maybe a little bit more secure about predictions with them, but we're close to doing those things, the football stuff.
Yeah. Football. I hope football is better this year. Oh my goodness. I'm ready I'm ready.
We are ready. You should be. Enjoy it, man. While you're a student, you got to enjoy it. I know you're busy with aviation school, but enjoy it while you got it.
All right. Thanks for having me on, Kyle.
Of course. As always, Sam, thanks for hanging out.
Peace.
See ya. All right. Great calls tonight. We're going to go ahead and shut it down. But if anybody was in line for some reason or about to call in, you can still do that. We'll squeeze you in here. But great calls and great opportunity to speak to some of you tonight. First timer tonight, Hunter. That was great to see it, to hear it, and meet you for the first time, at least in voice. A couple of comments that came through here. I'll tell you what. Here's what we're going to do. Go ahead and drop your comments and questions to round out the show. We're at over an hour. So let me go ahead and do this part of the show, and then we'll answer some of those and address some of those final things right here. Okay. Y'all know the drill. I got to pitch you the stuff we got going on at E2C Network. We're content creators after all, right? It's what we do. So y'all know Wednesday nights. Plan to be here next week. Tell a friend, drag them here. I don't care what you got to do. Against their will, get them here. I mean that seriously, because I do love the intimate nature of the Auburn Family Night, where it's a little bit more focused on y'all that choose to come here. But we do want to continue to grow that. And the best way you can do that is by inviting people, telling them to show up and hang out with us a little bit more, because it is more fun when we are all together in those spaces. And I know that'll be a little bit easier when football season officially is here. So next Wednesday night. Other than that, though, the next scheduled event is going to be Sunday, the Auburn Experience Live podcast recording, episode 137. If there's time, I'll do a little bit of Q&A. Austin and I have been very long-winded the last 2 episodes, especially because there's been so much to preview over positions in Auburn football. And so now that we've wrapped up offense and defense, special teams won't take us as long. And I'm pretty sure I know how this episode, the main topics are going to have. We'll have some more Q&A time for that as well. But that'll be 9 Eastern time, 8 Central. That is 9 Eastern, 8 Central for Sunday and for Wednesday nights. You should never have to mistake that. Don't have any other planned live streams at this point, but that always could change. So make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel here. And you can be following us everywhere. TikTok daily streams, audio podcast streams, Forever to Podcast, which is catching you up on the latest news. There'll be a lot. There was a lot today. There'll be a lot tomorrow that's already come out today. And hope you're downloading and subscribing to all of those different things and helping support what we do here. All right. Deanna, another TikToker. What's going on? We're glad you got here, even if it's a little bit late. I want to give you a shout out because we saw you down there. All right, let's go back through some of these questions before to round out the show. Evan said this a little bit earlier. He said, that's one thing we'll disagree on. And Evan and I, we agree on a lot of this no change with the uniform stuff. He just likes the orange face mask. You're dead to me, Evan. I'm kidding. Can't deal with you anymore. Unbeaten Lake, if we were to wear, we need to wear white socks, half orange tights above the socks, and blue above the orange. It's a perfect combination. I'm trying to picture that in my head right now. Half orange tights. I don't know about that one. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm just not getting it. But yeah. Greg says that JB, meaning Janai Broom, when we were talking about him, is the most competitive person I've ever seen. Yeah, listen, whatever he had happened that scared him physically, and listen, I think a lot of people question that when he went down and it seemed quote unquote fine to come back in. People sometimes don't recognize like how scary coming back in after you had a true physical like injury scare can be. Okay, so Devin's asking about can someone explain a two-way contract? What exactly does that mean? You know what? Here's what we're going to do, Devin. I'm going to get you the AI. Let me go over here. What is a NBA two-way contract? So I'm going to give you what that says, and then I'll add anything if I need to. AI on Google says a two-way contract in the NBA allows a player to be under contract with both an NBA team and its G League affiliate. Essentially, it's minor league. I'm adding that part. This allows teams to develop players in the G League while also having them available for NBA games up to a certain limit. Essentially, it's a hybrid contract that bridges the gap between the two leagues. It's a minor league. It's like baseball, right? It's their minor leagues. So that kind of gives you the AI, and I don't think there's probably anything wrong with that explanation. That's probably in more finesse terms what I would have said. So this is a way for some of these them. In fact, I could pitch it as this. It should be an honor to get a two-way contract, because that tells me that a team may not have the physical space for me on the salary or whatever, or even the spot for me, but doesn't want me to get away. Let me get away. And so they're going to have you there. And if you're there, you have a shot to come in and play. So I think that's an honor in some ways. Certainly you want to be officially on the roster, but not everybody can be. Anything else? Anything else to round out the show, guys? A lot of you got here from appreciate. A lot of you guys have come on over from the TikTok side of things, and I want to reiterate how much I appreciate y'all being over there as well. And I think you kind of see now how the energy is a little bit different over here, a little bit more calm, less frantic, less combative at times. Although we've had some moments here on this show that have gotten, quite frankly, downright indignant from others and myself. I think one time, what was it? Yeah, I had someone call in, and I've yet to see them again, claim that Butch Thompson needed to be fired after not last season, but the season before that. And I said, help me understand your thinking. And I was like, you and I aren't going to see eye to eye at all on this one. But yeah, it's a little bit less hectic over here. Okay, so thanks. I'm glad you enjoyed the AI version of that. Less trolls here. Sorry for trolling the TikToks, by the way. Just trying to have fun with the... No, look, you can troll the trolls. That's fine. I have no problem with you guys trolling them, but trust me, I'll take care of them. Like most of them, I don't give them the time of day. I just go ahead and get rid of them. And I love when people call me soft for doing that. I'm like, okay, then call me Charmin. That's fine. So you think I'm soft? That's fine. That's the most overused and like overcompensating like quote or descriptor you can use in today's age. That like try to think of something different other than you're soft. Like, okay, fine, I'm soft, but you're not gonna be here. I have to deal with you anymore unless you've got 1,000 burners account like we did yesterday. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. That's for over at TikTok. But I truly do enjoy doing both because there are different things, different spaces for different things. And we're getting very close. Well, we're still a few thousand away. But 10,000, as I understand it, it's a great point where you can start maximizing some of the financial benefits over there. It's the way I understand it. I could be wrong. And so I've been kind of waiting to try some new things over there until we hit that. So y'all are always helping us build that audience over there. And I appreciate you. My point is this. I appreciate everybody, but I appreciate you guys being patrons of all of it. The worst thing is to a troll is no attention. Absolutely. But sometimes you just got to have some fun with it. What I love is when a troll thinks they're being clever and then misspells or really messes up their statement. And it's just like, I mean, if you're going to take the time to troll, at least get it right. By this point, I just troll because it gets a laugh out of the ones E2C, and it's 2005. That's a if you were there, type of scenario thing. All right. Anything else that we need to cover before we get out of here? We're a little late today, but hey, it's been a good time talking with y'all tonight. I enjoy doing everything that we do for the E2C network content, but this format, this show will always be special to me because while I don't come unprepared to, I try to be prepared to talk about things, but you guys provide a lot of the content. It makes it easy. This is all about you guys. So Auburn Family Night is special to me, and you guys make it that way. The spammers with the same question. My favorite is the people that want to be rude when I pass over their question. I'm like, it could just be simple as I missed it. It is possible with our 2,000 followers. Anyway, we should add another video board on top of the East and the West decks. Could you imagine? Oh, the amount of like seizures that people would be having at that point with sound and visual overstimulation. I do think we are getting close to I'm just speculating to announcements of what's next for that north end zone. I actually have some pictures from a survey I took that was sent to me as a season ticket holder last year for what possibly could go up there. I don't think I'm allowed to show them. Some of you that took that survey probably have seen them. So I haven't, but I've got screenshots of them. It's interesting. I'll put it there, or I'll leave it there for now. And one day maybe we'll be able to talk about it a little bit, about the what ifs, what might have been, all those things. Put one on a blimp and have it hover over the stadium the entire game. I think those days are gone for the blimps. I know they still do it a little bit, but anyway. All right, guys, thanks for hanging out tonight. It's been a great night. As always, we appreciate you being part of our little family within the Auburn family and spending some time hanging out with us. We really do appreciate you all. Thanks for hanging out and being here. War Eagle.